$200 per month raised for roughly 70 million beneficiaries receiving Social Security, Retirement Disability, SSDI survivors, SSI and VA benefits. The truth of what is actually happening with this raise in this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, I want to talk about this because this is a topic that has been cycling around for a very long time now. In fact, about 2 years that we've been hearing about this. So where did this originally come from? This were actually originally introduced way back in the March of 2020 by 3 Democratic senators, Ron Wyden, Elizabeth Warren, and Chuck Schumer. They are the 3 that brought this original proposal out, talking about $200 per month raise for all these beneficiaries for 2 years. Well, nothing ever came about it. So here we are sitting about 2 years later and we still haven't heard anything about it yet. As far as are we getting it? What is going on with this? And well, here's the deal. Has the current landscape changed since the last time that we heard about this, which was about the summer of 2020, was probably the last time that we heard any solid information about this. Has the landscape changed? And the landscape have changed in really big way. So this is where we want to talk about what is going on with this $200. I want to talk about the actual truth behind these payments as I continue to look around out there right now and I come across all this different information. There's a lot of talk out there about these $200 payments. There's a lot of things that are floating around right there, but I want to give you the actual truth behind this. What I'm actually fighting with the real reliable sources of information behind this $200 raise. So please don't be upset with me. I'm bringing you the information as I'm fighting it from reliable sources. Alright, so here's what I'm fighting in regards to this $200 per month raise. I haven't heard anything about this since probably, like I said, about the summertime of 2020, so quite a hard while ago. A year and a half ago is probably the last time that we heard any solid information about this. So where are these checks? Are they coming? And is it not? And what is going on with this? And here the deal behind it. And here the honest truth with this. The likelihood of this happening is probably very slim unless there is a caveat. There's always a caveat to everything. And here's what it is, unless it's reintroduced once again. The likelihood of that original bill that was introduced way back in the March of 2020 is probably not coming back. It was another one of these really great ideas at the time they came out. They proposed it and it sounded great. A lot of us in the community were thinking, this is amazing. This could be so nice and it could be fixed to all of all problems. It could help us to all out so much right now. However, it was just another great idea at the time that came by itself in the night and it kind of zipped away into the sunset. And that's essentially what we are seeing right here with this bill. However, unless something were to be reintroduced, which could happen as right now, Democrats are still in the full control of everything, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So, at any point, if they wanted to do something like this, they could reintroduce it. However, here's one of the caveats. Once again, it could need to be passed through the actual regular process through the legislative process. It could not be done through the reconciliation, however, unless they actually send this payment out to all these beneficiaries as they just monthly payment in the form of maybe like a small stimulus check worth $200, or maybe it's just a volunteered basic income program for all of these beneficiaries on an ongoing basis. However, long they decide a year, maybe 2 years, whatever they decide in that instance, then they could do it through the reconciliation process, provided it's in name of something else other than the extension of Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefits. They couldn't actually be able to fund it through the Social Security programs through the reconciliation. They could have to go through the regular legislative process. So likelihood of a happening is probably almost zero. It's probably not going to happen that way. However, one thing that they could do, they could get this done relatively easily if they wanted to do so. If they could actually pass this payment through as a volunteer basic income program, as a monthly stimulus check in the amount of $200, they could easily do this. And what could not be paid through the actual tourist fund from the Social Security, but rather he couldn't just be paid by the federal government, right? So like out the federal funds, basically it's just money could be allocated right out of the treasury, like they've done with the stimulus checks, right? So that's how they could do it. And they could bypass of the lot of legislative process, and they could get it done relatively easily. However, it could need to be reintroduced as a new bill at this point, because honestly, the last one is probably not coming back. Being totally real with you that $200, as far as original proposals, is probably not coming back. If they wanted to do it again, they could rewrite the legislation and they could reintroduce it, and it could actually be doing relatively quickly. It couldn't be that hard for them to figure it out, and it could not be hard for them to do. Here's what else is interesting about it. If they wanted to do it, they could send out $200 payment for all of these beneficiaries, about 70 to 75 million beneficiaries, on an ongoing basis for a year or 2 years or whatever they decided to do. And it could be very, very similar to child tax credit payments. Those were the payments that were going out on a monthly basis for second half of 2021. And went out to about 36 to 38 million families. What's interesting is, if we actually also run the numbers on this $200, which is about a half of $422 on the monthly basis average, it's about half, but it's going out to about the same 70 to 75 million people. So at the end of the day, it's going to be about the same dollars amount that's we're going out to the child tax credit families. So as all that may kind of sound kind of interesting how all that works out, it's essentially the same numbers that be going out the door to the dollars. And as far as the households, I just wanted to throw that out there because it's almost weird coincidence how all of those numbers add up and come out to be pretty much the same. But if they happen to do this, it could have to be reintroduced, and it could be introduced as some kind of tax repaid on advance on the tax credit, just like the child tax credit payments. It could be introduced that exact the same way, so it couldn't be too bad. We could have money going out to the seniors, the elderly, and people with a disability, and we could also have money going out to the families with the kids under the age of 17.